Okay, here's another video in our series of what makes this exercise great, and this one's the front squat. Sort of discussed this one many times in several other videos about other things, but never really just looking at the front squat and the unique aspect of it. So like most of the exercises in this series, all of the squats are good to do, but this one in particular is a real favourite of mine. It's the reasons that make it so hard is what also makes it so awesome. And great technique with Dylan in this. He used to not really enjoy this one too much, but he's really worked on his mobility of his hips especially, where now he can really control it. And you can see like the angles that he's got, perfect depth on this as well. So, like really symmetrical feeling, great control through his thoracic spine. So many things going on here, but I've just sort of drawn some lines there to give you an idea. But this parallel position, you can see the front squat sort of ends up having an angle like this, so it almost goes too far the other way in a way. But that's what makes it so challenging an exercise. And anyone who's done a lot of these will know just how much it hurts your core. It's not just a leg exercise. So I'll just take it back to the start. So really trying to maintain the extension without compensating by trying to move without any hip motion. You'll see a lot of people too straighten their knees right out here like that, and they'll end up having to come off their heels, or they'll reduce their range of motion. So the minute they push their hips back, then the bar falls down and their elbows drop. So they really have this loss of control between the hip and the thoracic spine. So you can hence see why the core is so heavily involved, because it's the glue that holds it together. But you really need incredible mobility here, and even at the ankles as well. So because it's quite an upright position. So really a lot of moving pieces, a lot of coordination, and obviously a massive amount of core strength and really good use of breathing. You just can't really relax into this one. You can't sort of get sloppy on it like you can with the back squat. The back squat you could almost have a rest at the top point there, but this one you just can't. So a bit like how I've discussed in one of the other videos with the wood chop being the exercise. If you can, it's so hard to learn this one. It's really difficult, so complicated. But if you do spend the time and you become good at it, it really unlocks the potential in many of the other movements, especially when you're moving into overhead things, because you've really got a solid base to build upon. And it's a lot of those movements that people struggle with. So from the sagittal plane, the overhead stuff is usually the hardest, and all that. And for everything else, it's usually single leg and moving in frontal and sagittal and transverse planes. But this movement incredible for building a great foundation strength. It's similar to the deadlift in many ways, where it's not just a leg exercise. You really have to lock the rib cage in. Your breathing has to be really under control if you're going to handle loads like Dylan is here. But yeah, an incredible exercise, and one I really highly encourage people to learn. Doing it with the rack position here, so he's got a clean grip with his fingers here. Sometimes it's easier to use little pads and cross the arms over. It's a lot easier on the grip, but if you can learn the clean grip like Dylan's got here, it's a great asset to you to moving into overhead movements, like I said before. All right, so anyway, that's one of the reasons why I love this exercise, and I hope you can find the time to learn it, and it helps you with your training. All right, see you in the next video.